The Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps says it has arrested 8 suspects over alleged vandalism of railway sleepers in Lafia. The suspects were paraded by the State Commandant of the Corps at the command's headquarters in Lafia. They were arrested with 370 pieces of railway sleepers. Operative of the command, acting on intelligence, arrested the suspect on the 31st of March in Agaragu village while conveying the items in the truck to Lafia.
We arrested them with a truck. You can see the truck over there, and 370 pieces of railway sleepers. I think they need to face the consequences of their bad action.
How did you arrest them?
Through our intelligence. When we learned that they are going along with the vehicle and with the sleepers, we send our officers, anti-vandals, and we are lucky, we get them all.
The prime suspect, driver of the truck, and one other were initially apprehended, while 5 other suspects were later arrested based on information.
We earlier on arrested 3, the driver and 2 passengers. Through the 3, we started investigating tangled. We started picking others.
When were they arrested, sir?
They were arrested on 31st March 2021.
The prime suspect owned up to the crime, but alleged he was contacted by one Alhaji to remove the railway sleepers with the claim that they had become obsolete and were about to be replaced. The Alhaji had offered to pay him 200 naira per sleepers, but he ignorantly accepted. He wants the civil defense to pardon him, as his action was as a result of hardship and was lured into the crime ignorantly.
I'm here because of my offense.
What's the offense?
We packed the sleepers of railway.
You and who?
Me and driver and his one pack.
So where una dey carry am go?
We dey carry am come Lafia.
Nasarawa State Governor has stated the commitment of his administration to promote technical and vocational education in order to provide employment for the teeming unemployed youths in the state. Nigeria is presently among the top 5 countries with the highest unemployment rates in the world, with Nasarawa State also facing challenges of unemployment. The governor made this known while commissioning the new state office complex of the Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria in Lafia.
Today, Nigeria is ranked one of the 5 top countries with the highest rate of unemployment in the world. Today, Nigeria is one of the top 5. One of the reasons why we are having this is because we have a lot of people out there not having what to do. And this unemployment consists of both youth as well as adult unemployment. It also speaks of underemployment. And today, if you take a look, I was happy when I was just coming in. I actually saw one of my schoolmates, Allah de Abimiku, who was in fitter machinist, and I was in the Spirio shop. I was in welding, he was in fitter machinist, and the technical school. So the idea is, we are trying as an institution, as government, to see the possibility of doing everything possible to promote technical and vocational education. Employment shouldn't just be the responsibility of government. That is where we are getting it wrong. Nasarawa State Government, the best it can do is to employ maybe somewhere around 15,000–20,000 people. Good employment. I'm not talking of the employment that we can pay salaries. So these are the challenges we are facing. And the only way we can do that is if we employ people, if we train people who are employable. Employable in the sense that they can employ themselves.
The state government donated the land for the construction of the state sector of Korea due to the influence of the engineering profession by the Abdullahi Sales administration. The governor is happy with Korea for completing its secretariat. He is optimistic that the edifice would provide a conducive atmosphere for efficient and effective executions of functions of Korea in the state.
You will recall that the government of Nasarawa State donated this land for the construction of secretariat complex for the council, considering the significance of this administration attaches to engineering profession. This is in furtherance of our collective commitment to stimulate the development of engineering in the state as a fulcrum for minimum and meaningful development. This is one of the cardinal focus of this administration on the laying solid foundations for socio-economic and industrial development of the state and indeed the country at large. Let me therefore congratulate you, Mr. President, our dear own engineer Ali Rabiu, for this feat, culminating in our gathering to witness the commissioning of this complex. The edifice will certainly provide a conducive atmosphere for effective and efficient execution of the functions of the Council of Engineers in the state and indeed in Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me take the liberty of this occasion to state that with the establishment of the Faculty of Engineering in the Nasarawa State University, KEFI, the emerging challenges of engineering practices will soon be a thing of the past. It will also go a long way in enhancing a number of indigenous engineers. Needless to say, as I just arrived, now the Federal University Lafayette is establishing the same faculty. How lucky can you be as a governor, having two faculties of engineering from both sides? I say thank you to you, faculty of the new faculty that is coming up. Indeed, Nasarawa State will partner with you to ensure that it becomes effective, efficient faculty of engineering.
Achieving some degree of healthier, more sustainable and equitable food system is the priority of the United Nations. This is part of a decade of action to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals come 2030. To achieve this in Nigeria, the federal government is collaborating with the UN to organize a series of dialogues across the country towards ensuring a resilient, inclusive, and sustainable food system in the country. Now, the North Central region is holding its exploratory dialogue in Lafayette, the Nasarawa State capital. The aim is to curb food shortages occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic and ensure food security.
To commend organizers of this all-important event for their wisdom in planning the dialogue, aimed primarily at achieving access to safe and nutritious food for all, building resilience to vulnerabilities, shocks and stresses, to achieve sustainable consumption amongst others. This, we believe, will contribute to the overall achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal number 2, which is the reduction achieving zero hunger by the year 2030. And it is in this light that I wish to call on these carefully selected participants to deliberate and come out with resolutions and recommendations that will help address the food system's malaise.
Let me mention here that I have no doubt that the present government of Nasarawa State, Plateau, Benue, as well as FCT, will leave no stone unturned in putting in place the necessary statistical infrastructure that will support the implementation of all actions discussed or highlighted at the end of this dialogue.
What you eat. For the Western world, for all they are, and their production of the bread, for the best of their thinking, is because they ate well, and ate well with a good nutrition. For the product of what we made of ourselves is the intake that over time we have eaten that have grown to the stature we are. Indeed, in health, malnutrition is a cycle. For a malnutrition mother who put to bed would give a malnutrition child. And a malnutrition child are less developed, both in organ and also in brain. They also grow to offer less to the quality of the best of what the community deserves.
Nasarawa State Governor wants facilitators, participants to evolve means of curbing wastages suffered by local farmers.
Let me also commend the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and Planning for the choice of Nasarawa State to host this historic occasion, considering the strategic location of Nasarawa State within the North Central Zone, which is also predominantly an agrarian in nature. I need to state that the outbreak of coronavirus has woken us up to a lot of realities that have threatened our very existence, which calls for urgent need to improve on our nutritional value and food security. It is against this background that we must, as a matter of necessity, begin to address the ailing food system by initiating deliberate policies that will ensure that the most ordinary citizen in Nigeria is not deprived of the basic needs of food and adequate nutrition. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that Nasarawa State has since keyed into the federal government policy on agriculture and nutrition with a view to ensure sustainable food security in line with SDG goal number 2 of achieving zero hunger by the year 2030. This is evident in our policy to woo investors into the state and other youth empowerment programs. I'm also happy to inform you that we have recently launched the Nasarawa State Cash Transfer Scheme, which is aimed at providing and improving the living conditions of the poor and the vulnerable in the society.
For the governor, the amount of wastage suffered by local farmers may be responsible for the hunger being witnessed in the country.
Let me advise a few things that our facilitators and participants can actually look at. It is not just about going back to the farm to produce, but just like the SDG assistant of mine said, the amount of wastages that we have may even be responsible for part of the hunger that we actually see in this country. If you look at it critically, starting from achieving the appropriate yield per hectare, you will see a small innocent farmer may actually have somewhere like 1 hectare or 2 hectares to plant maybe rice. He may be getting only about 3 tons of rice per that hectare, when in reality he can achieve 10 tons if appropriate measures are taken. Proper irrigation, protecting the farm with the right herbicides, and other things that are necessary.
Development partners in the state are ready to support government in achieving food security.
It is also our belief as development partners that this dialogue and summit will offer every one of us unprecedented opportunity for us to define the future of our food systems. It is worth noting that transforming food systems is crucial for the development of all the SDGs. It is on this note that I, on behalf of the development partners in the state and the zone, want to wish everyone a fruitful meeting, and we continue to pledge and reaffirm our support, technical support, in ensuring that whatever comes out in the communique at the end of this meeting, we will provide our technical support to the full implementation of those points.
This exploratory dialogue is expected to prepare participants for the summit in September 2021. The Lafia Progressive Forum is holding a special prayer for the former Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, for the successful completion of his tenure with the police. Mohammed Adamu joined the League of Former Inspector General of Police when the presidency named his successor on Tuesday.
The purpose for this prayer is, first of all, to give gratitude to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for, first of all, finding Mohammed Adamu worthy of becoming the Inspector General of Police. Secondly, for giving him wisdom to go through the tenure for which he was given. Thirdly, for successfully coming to the end of the tenure.
The Lafia Progressive Forum are satisfied with the manner in which the former IGP combated crime in the country. They pray for a peaceful and hitch-free retirement as the former IGP returns to Lafia, his hometown.
I am sure you as pressmen will be following events step by step from the beginning up till now. You have seen that during his tenure, a lot of accomplishments have been recorded. First of all, the hotspot areas have witnessed some low, some quietness. Things have really gone down. Secondly, you can see the successes recorded by the security agencies around the country, including the military and the other agencies that were complementing the efforts of the police. We know for sure that these things have gone down tremendously.
Today on our interview segment, we have with us Honorable Vocational, the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism. It's a pleasure having you on the program today, Honorable.
Thank you very much.
Alright, let's not waste time. Let's just set the ball rolling.
All right.
Tourism is one vital sector across the world that most countries usually generate revenue from.
Yeah.
What are the tourism potentials of Nasarawa State?
Thank you for this opportunity given to me to speak on behalf of Nasarawa State government and the people of Nasarawa State. Nasarawa State is endowed with rich cultural potentials, cultural as well as tourism potential that are abound in the state. And some of the major sites that can attract investors to develop in the sector includes the famous Nasarawa Waterfalls that is located in Wamba local government area. We have the Meloni Hills at the heart of Kefi city. We equally have the Kiana Salt Village. It is one of the famous areas that the people of Kiana have been locally producing salt. We equally have the Ararok in Nasarawa. We have the dying pit here in the heart of Lafia, the state capital. We equally have the Akiriwong spring water that abounds in our local government area. We have the famous Duma Dam that is nationally known for its existence. We equally have the Feferua water lake. Feferua lake is an elongated natural lake found in Lafia local government. Lafia is development area. We equally have some other places that abound in the state, but these are the major attractions that abound in the state.
Okay, what you just mentioned so far, it appears we have a lot of tourism sites in the state.
Very well.
How much has the state government been able to harness the potentials of these sites?
Yeah, very well. I must confess that since the existence of the state, this very natural endowment abounds. Unfortunately, government in the past did not key into developing this sector. And when we came on board under the present leadership of His Excellency the Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullah Esule, we see the need, or we've seen the need for us to develop this very sector so that we can now diversify the economy of the state. And the governor, my principal, is very key into ensuring that this very sector is developed. So automatically when we took over, there was nothing that was laid as a foundation to propel the tourism potential that are abound in the state. But we are on course at the moment.
All right, now look at the Nasarawa Waterfalls. I was aware that the Minister for Information, Culture and Tourism, Lai Mohammed, was in the States last week.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us what the government is doing to explore these sites, this Nasarawa water site?
Definitely in a bid to reap the gains of the tourism potentials that are abound in the state. The present government is keen into making sure that the Nasarawa Waterfalls become the first side project that we intend to embark. And the present government will try to see how best we can tell the world that we have this potential that is very unique, not only in the north central or northern part of Nigeria, but in Africa. There's nowhere you can find this very forest. If you go there, you see the uniqueness of that very fall, and then followed with the environment, the forestry attachment that very forest abounds. So it's a natural endowment that we believe if investors can be brought in, they will be able to explore and at the same time develop the place to be a tourist heaven in Africa. So, or in Nigeria, let me put it so that people will not say, why am I going to Africa? So at the moment, the government, we have gone into aggressive awareness campaign on the federal waterfalls. And then that attracted the Honorable Minister for Information and Tourism that came to the state last week. And our reason is that for him, let him come and see it for himself. But before he came, His Excellency the Governor set up a committee headed by the Deputy Governor, the President Dr. Emmanuel Akabe. We visited on advocacy visit to the state, to the federal capital, so that we will now bring people that have interest to develop in that very sector. And this visit, the August visit in the month of March, was for them to see it as it is. And it was wow when the minister visited them with members of his entourage. So that's the first step that we have taken now. But again, before the coming on board of the minister to Nasarawa State for the falls, the government will have key into ensuring that that is an aspect, if fully developed or tapped. In fact, it will give us, it will improve our IGR and then bring tourists to Nasarawa State. So the government took the bull by the horn to invest in the construction of the road. In fact, the government spent over 3 billion in the construction of the road from Sisimbaki through Mama to Kwara for the hydropower plant, or the hydropower investment that we are thinking of doing, going into it on the water that falls from the federal waterfalls. Then the government again spent millions to develop the road from Mama to Marhai Masenge, then to the falls. We have graded that very well, and that gave us easy accessibility to the falls last week. And this one is just the first phase of the development, and it is our plan that we will develop the road fully, so that once the road, accessibility is easy, we believe that investors, when they come, they will key into what we are going into, and then they will bring their money to invest. Then the other aspect now that is left for us after the visit of the minister, we are going to do a follow-up by May, hopefully. We are going to organize what we call Governor's Mask Fete. It is a charity kind of avenue that friends and well-wishers of the state and the governing person will come in and donate, support us to develop the proposed Nasarawa resort and tourism village that we are proposing to do. And we intend to generate not less than 300 million naira, so that we can now have this very resort where filmmakers can come and then shoot their films, and it's another way of generating revenue. So that is what is in the border at the moment now. So we are trying to see that if the waterfalls, the federal waterfall is fully developed, then we can now turn around and see how best we can key into other tourism potentials that are abound. But again, we discovered that another tourism potential that will follow suit is the Feferua Lake. The lake is very unique, and that very lake we are thinking of going to the negotiation with the community, that they will be able to take over as a government, so we'll see how we can develop that very lake, because the lake is unique too, and that is our second interest at the moment.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner, for this insightful interview. We appreciate it. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.